Monday, you guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maddison Hill, and yes, of course, we are kicking this week off with another pop-off with Maddison. For today's pop-off, I'm going to be talking all about Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck because they went Instagram official during JLo's birthday weekend in France, and let's just say the internet literally lost its damn mind. On top of that, we also have to talk about this iconic photo that JLo and Ben recreated. It's originally from JLo's music video for Jenny from the Block. Obviously, once people saw JLo and Ben recreating this photo, they were absolutely living for the nostalgia. So yeah, I'm gonna fill you guys in on the latest with Jen and Ben because we have been talking about these two since they reconciled a few months ago. Plus, we're also gonna talk about ARod because he was also in France this past weekend. Obviously, he wasn't on the same yacht as Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, but you guys, when I read the reason as to why ARod was also in France at the same time as Jen and Ben, it made me cringe just a little bit. So obviously, we have to discuss. And honestly, as much of a hard time as I give ARod, you know what? If you're brokenhearted and you have to heal your broken heart and your ego at the same time, you might as well do it on a yacht in France. Meanwhile, since we're on the topic of Jen and Ben's exes, we're also going to talk about Ben Affleck's ex-wife, Jennifer Garner, because she could not be more unbothered by the media circus that her ex-husband and Jennifer Lopez are creating. She posted a video about taking a moment of quiet this weekend on her Instagram, and let me just tell you guys, I love her for it. But before we get into all of this Bennifer, ARod, and Jennifer Garner tea, since it is Monday and it's the first pop-off of the week, you guys know I love to check in and see how the House of Hill is doing. How's your Monday? How was your weekend? My weekend was super chill. On Friday, I went to dinner and drinks with some friends. Saturday, I just spent the day with myself, had a little solo pool day, ordered in food. If that's not the most tourist weekend you've ever heard of, then I don't know what is. One day going out, being social with people, and then the next just needing some alone time. Literally, if you didn't know I was a tourist already, now you do. But yeah, overall a nice weekend. I'm feeling pretty good going into this Monday. Don't forget to tell me how you're feeling and how your weekend was down below. And now the time you straight to the tea people have been waiting for, make sure you drop this time code down there in the comments to help out your fellow straight to the tea people, because it's time to start unwrapping these Jen, Ben, and ARod facts. Alright, so as you all know by now, shortly after Jennifer Lopez and ARod called off their engagement, JLo was spotted out with her ex-fiance Ben Affleck. Quick reminder, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck actually got engaged in 2002 and later called off their engagement in 2004. Now 17 years later, they have reconnected and they just went Instagram official. This past weekend during JLo's 52nd birthday celebrations in St. Tropez, France, JLo posted a series of photos of herself in a bikini just to remind us all that she looks better at 52 than I do at 28. We get it, JLo. We get it. Anyway, at the end of that series of bikini photos, she went ahead and hit everyone with this steamy photo of her and Ben Affleck sharing a little smooch and making this their official Instagram debut. Let's just say once the internet saw this photo, everyone started losing their freaking minds. And if that wasn't enough, during the same yacht birthday party, JLo and Ben were also seen recreating an iconic scene from JLo's Jenny from the Block video. Yes, I'm talking about the scene where Ben Affleck is just grabbing JLo's butt. They recreated that photo on the yacht with their personal photographer. So either they wanted that for a memory or they were hoping that photo would leak. Either way, the internet was living for the nostalgia. Aside from all the PDA that Jen and Ben had on the boat, this was the most PDA we've seen from these two since they've reconciled. They also went out later that night to a club in St. Tropez. According to E! News, the DJ at the club was playing JLo's music, the champagne bottles kept coming, and her and Ben reportedly, quote, truly looked in love. In addition to that, a source also spoke to People magazine and shared that Jen and Ben are, quote, having a beautiful trip. This source also noted how beautiful and happy JLo looked while her and Ben were at the nightclub. Now, to make this whole JLo birthday weekend in St. Tropez just that much more interesting, it's worth noting that her ex-fiance ARod was also in the same place at the same time. According to TMZ, ARod was also seen renting a yacht in St. Tropez this past weekend, and he was surrounded by, quote, attractive staffers and friends. TMZ made it clear that there were reportedly no romantic hookups on the yacht, which was echoed by this source who spoke to People magazine. The source said ARod was, quote, with family and friends and people he works with. He's doing great and celebrating his birthday and the Minnesota Timberwolves sale. Now, if you're like me, which I feel like a lot of you in the House of Hill are, you're probably wondering, why the hell would ARod be in St. Tropez at the same time as Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck? Well, thankfully, a source cleared it up to E! News. And let's just say it was absolutely planned. Well, kind of. As this source said, quote, before they broke up, JLo and ARod had planned a trip together to the French Riviera for her birthday. Ultimately, he decided not to change his plans and still go. And she also decided to keep her trip, but go with Ben, which is why they're all there right now. I don't know why that makes me cringe just a freaking tad. Maybe because ARod was the one who allegedly tried to cheat on JLo and tried to slide into other girls' DMs while he was engaged to JLo. And now clearly, at least in my own opinion, it seems as though he may have some regrets. Regardless, when you look at both of their photos from the yacht, you tell me who's winning this breakup. Last thing before I pop off, Jennifer Garner, aka Ben Affleck's ex, unlike ARod, could not be more unbothered when it comes to Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Garner did gain attention for posting this video on her Instagram this past weekend. It's some nice relaxing sounds with the caption, a quiet moment. People of course were freaking out because she posted this amidst all the chaos that Jen and Ben were creating this past weekend. And I'm here to tell you right now, I do not believe that Jennifer Garner cares at all. I know the internet was trying to drag her into the chaos this past weekend by comparing her to Jennifer Lopez, and let me just tell you, I will not stand for it. We're not doing that to Jennifer Garner. She is an American treasure. She brought us 13 going on 30, and not to mention, she drove Ben Affleck to rehab after he already fooled around with somebody else and after they were already separated. And on top of that, before she took him to rehab, she even had the decency to take him to a McDonald's. So on this channel, we will not be comparing Jennifer Garner to Jennifer Lopez because in my opinion, there is no comparison, and clearly I'm a major fan of Jennifer Garner. Sorry, whew, that got my upper lip sweat going. However, I do want to make it clear we will drag ARod because like I said, he willingly went to St. Tropez this weekend, knowing damn well that Jennifer Lopez would be there and probably knowing damn well that she would bring Ben Affleck. Okay, I feel like I'm definitely already starting to pop off, so we might as well just get to the champagne and the shambong. Here we go. Let's all pretend on this Monday that we're on a yacht in St. Tropez. All right, so first up, let's talk about Jen and Ben going Instagram official because I cannot lie, when I first saw that photo, I was honestly a little shook. And I was shook because up until this weekend, Jen and Ben have been doing the most to avoid the paparazzi. But then I snapped out of it and snapped back into reality and remembered how much renewed attention both of these two have been getting since they reconciled, and it was time to stop hiding from the paparazzi and start taking control of this narrative, hence why I think JLo decided to go Instagram official. Honestly, it's good for the Bennifer relationship brand, and at this point, you can't deny that Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are on their way to making their relationship a branded relationship, just like she had with ARod. Remember, JLo and ARod both got specific business deals as a couple when they were in a relationship together, when they were engaged, and I really think that Jennifer Lopez wants to make that happen again with Ben Affleck, and the way they're going, I think it's definitely possible. People are absolutely living for the nostalgia. They are eating it up, hence why I also think they recreated that grabbing butt photo. Sure, maybe they wanted it for their memories, a little TBT situation, but you can't tell me that they didn't know paparazzi were chasing them on that yacht, and they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew those photos would get leaked, and honestly, their plan worked. It made everyone love them even more and freak out even more at the fact that they went Instagram official and recreated this iconic photo this weekend and showed a ton of PDA for the first time. Now, having said all of that and looking at this through a PR standpoint, I do want to say at least the two do seem to be genuinely happy. I mean, every report we've read about them talks about how happy they are, how they look in love, how they seem super into each other. And I do genuinely think that Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are happy together, but I also just think in addition to them being happy, there is a little bit of a PR aspect to it as well. And as I've said before, I do think that these two will be together for some time. I honestly think at some point there is potential for them to even get engaged, but I do not think that they will actually follow through with getting married. I don't know, to me, everything just seems a little too peachy right now, and while I do think the peachiness will continue for a bit, I don't think this peachiness will last forever, you know? But in the meantime, I'm here for it. I'm here for the 2000s nostalgia. Jenny from the Block is an iconic song. It was one of my favorite songs when I was little, so honestly, Jen and Ben, keep living your best lives. Moving on, let's talk about ARod, because you know what? I've got to give ARod just a little slow clap because, you know, he is really doing his best to make it seem like he does not care about the fact that JLo has moved on with Ben Affleck. He's really doing his best to make it seem like his ego is not hurting. But we all know, at least in my opinion, that deep down, he is still super pissed about all of this. He's being pictured on a yacht going down a water slide in St. Tropez. Meanwhile, his ex is being pictured with her new man, or old man, however you want to look at it, grabbing her butt and breaking the internet by going Instagram official. You know that in no way, shape, or form can ARod be happy about that. But I'm giving him an A for effort for at least trying to pretend like he is. And you know what? Shout out to the people in ARod's camp, because you guys are really doing the most to put out the word consistently that he is so happy. He's having so much fun in St. Tropez. Even if this was a trip he originally planned with JLo, he's happy being surrounded by his family and friends. Honestly, ARod's team, you guys are killing it. We just here in the House of Hill know a little bit better than to believe everything that we're reading. I would also like to say I hope after this whole JLo situation that ARod has finally learned his lesson, that maybe cheating while you're in a relationship, or at the very least talking to other women while you're in a relationship, is wrong. However, considering the fact he's about to turn 46, I'm not feeling very hopeful. Unfortunately, at least in my opinion, I feel like ARod is truly the epitome of the saying, once a cheater, always a cheater. Sorry, you ARod fans. I know that's a little harsh, but his history kind of doesn't give me much reason to believe that he's ever going to change. And as far as Jennifer Garner and her Instagram post, I feel like you guys can already tell how I feel about this. I truly do not think that Jennifer Garner cares at all about Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. I think she probably knows deep down that this is going to cause a big media circus right now, but in the long run, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I truly believe that at the end of the day, as long as Ben Affleck is happy and a good dad, Jennifer Garner could care less about who he's dating and could care less about the media circus surrounding him and Jennifer Lopez. I just think ultimately she would very much like to be excluded from their narrative. She is living her best life. She's a mom. She's doing her own thing. And honestly, I can't blame her for it. All right, you guys, that is all the Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck, ARod, and Jennifer Garner tea I have for you. I want to hear all your thoughts and feels down below. While you're at it, please give this video a thumbs up. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget that notification bell. Also, if you guys would like more content, don't forget to give me a follow over on Instagram and TikTok. And of course, don't forget to check out my merch store at houseofhill.com. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.